How could this happen? One simple question, one that echoes through the halls of Silicon Valley. In 1998, a company stood at the very top of the internet mountain. It was the king. It was the destination. It was everything. Two young men. Just students, really. They walked into their offices. They had an idea in a box, a new kind of search engine, built in a garage. They offered it up. But the king said no. 5 years later, that little engine from the garage had changed the entire world. The king was no longer the king. This is the story of how a single decision, or perhaps a series of small ones, can change the course of history forever. It is a story about vision. It is a story about seeing what is right in front of you. But it is also a story about what happens when you cannot see it. We often think of history as grand, sweeping events. But sometimes it all comes down to a single room, a single conversation, a single moment. One path is chosen, another is left behind. It was a choice that would be worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and it was a choice that was missed. In the mid-1990s, the internet was a wild, untamed frontier. It was like a massive library with no card catalog. People needed a guide. And then, Yahoo appeared. It started as something simple, a hand-curated list of websites, Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. But it grew so fast, it tapped into a deep human need, the need for order, the need for a starting point. Soon, Yahoo was not just a directory, it was the friendly purple face of the internet. Your email, your news, your stock quotes, your weather forecast. It was a community. The company was on a rocket ship, and everyone knew it. The stock price soared. The brand was everywhere. On television, the brand was everywhere. In magazines. For millions of people, Yahoo was the internet. It had the money, it had the power, it had the users. It seemed like its reign could never end. They were at the absolute peak of their influence. The culture inside Yahoo was electric in those early days. They were building the road as they drove on it. They were media darlings, acquiring companies, expanding their empire. A vision to be the one-stop shop for everything online. They had every advantage. They had the resources. They had the brand recognition. They had a massive, loyal user base. This bright, shining success is the backdrop for the turning point that was to come. It is the brilliant before that makes the after so much more dramatic. The story has been told and retold, with details shifting like sand, but the core of it remains the same. In 1998 and again in the following years, Larry Page, Sergey Brin approached Yahoo. They saw a natural fit. Yahoo was the biggest portal and it needed a great search engine. Google was the best search engine and it needed the traffic and resources of a giant like Yahoo. The first time they met, they reportedly offered to sell their technology for just $1 million. Think about that. $1 million for what would become the most valuable technology of the new century. At the time, they did not see search as the main event. They saw it as a feature, one of many services they offered. Their business model was built around being a media company. They wanted to sell big, expensive banner ads and keep users on their site. Google's model was designed to send users away as fast as possible. Some leaders at Yahoo were intrigued, but others were hesitant. Why buy when you could build? Yahoo's leadership was focused on a vast media portal. They saw themselves as the next Disney, Time Warner. The idea of a simple search box being the key to the future was not yet clear. The conversation stalled. The moment passed. Cut to, a few years later, around 2002. Google was now a phenomenon. Yahoo finally realized the enormous power of search and came back to the table to acquire Google outright. The rumored price tag was now in the billions, yet even then, the deal fell apart. Accounts differ on why. Some say Yahoo's offer was too low. Others say there was a clash of cultures. Whatever the reason, Yahoo once again walked away. It was the final, definitive no. It was the moment the future truly slipped from their grasp. And the consequences would echo through time. The first and most fundamental mistake was a failure of vision. Yahoo saw itself as a media company, not a technology company, trying to build the internet's version of a television network or a newspaper. They focused on creating and curating content, hoping to attract eyeballs and sell banner ads. They saw search as a simple utility, a commodity, not the engine that would drive the entire new economy. Google, on the other hand, saw search as the ultimate expression of user intent. The second mistake was timing and a lack of urgency. The internet moves at lightning speed. A week is a month, and a month is a year. Yahoo was a big established company, and it moved like one. The initial chance for a pittance was lost to hesitation. By the time they came back, the price had skyrocketed. In technology, he who hesitates is not just lost. He is left behind. The third mistake was a diffusion of focus. In trying to be everything, Yahoo spread itself too thin, buying GeoCities to Broadcast.com, bolting on features. Acquisitions distracted from core products, while Google remained laser-focused on one thing, making search better. Every day they refined the algorithm to make it faster, smarter, and more useful. That dedication created a product gap Yahoo could never close. The fourth mistake was about people and culture. As Yahoo grew more corporate, Google fiercely protected an engineering-driven culture, where innovation served the user first. After the final deal fell through, the world began to change. Google unveiled its masterstroke, AdWords, a revolutionary system placing small, relevant text ads next to search results, making them incredibly effective. Advertisers flocked because it delivered return. Money began to pour into Google, fuel to innovate even faster. Their simple search box had become a money printing machine. Yahoo tried to fight back, cobbling together search and ads, redesigning the homepage, hiring new leaders, announcing new strategies. But they were always one step behind. Users cared only about the quality of their search results and had already started to change their habits. People started saying, "Just Google it." Googling became a verb. The clean, fast experience was simply better. One by one, then in droves, users made Google their default. Where the users went, the advertisers were sure to follow. The numbers told the brutal story. Once a Wall Street darling, Yahoo stagnated and began a long, painful slide. Missed earnings, declining engagement, forced into reactive moves, buying some companies, selling others, constantly trying to reinvent. The Yahoo brand still exists. It still has millions of users for email and news, but it is a shadow of its former self, no longer the center of the digital universe. A smaller province in an empire ruled by others, most notably the company it could have bought for $1 million. Behind all the stock prices and business strategies, this is a story about people. It is a story about human nature. On one side, you have the leaders of Yahoo. They were not foolish. They were smart, successful executives who had built a massive company from scratch, but they were also trying to protect what they had built, responsible to shareholders. With strength came fear. Fear of a costly mistake, of overpaying, of disrupting a successful model. That fear made them cautious when they needed to be bold. On the other side, you have two young students, Larry and Sergey. They operated from a position of hunger. They had nothing to lose and everything to gain, driven by passion for the product and an unwavering belief that their way was better. They slept at the office and obsessed over lines of code, unclouded by quarterly reports or corporate politics. It was a pure, focused vision: organize the world's information and make it universally accessible. That clarity gave them incredible power. Think about the pressure on the leaders at Yahoo. The whole world was watching. Making a multi-billion-dollar bet on a small competitor was a huge risk. It is easy for us to look back now and say they should have done it. But playing it safe probably felt responsible. They trusted their own map of the world, but the world was changing faster than their map could be redrawn. Their past success became a heavy anchor. This is the human drama at the heart of the story: the established power versus the disruptive innovator. It is about how difficult it is to see the future when you are standing comfortably in the present. The people at Yahoo were looking at spreadsheets and market shares. The people at Google were looking at the horizon and imagining what could be. In the end, the dreamers with a better dream won. It is a timeless lesson about how vision, courage, a touch of humility are just as important as any business plan. The first lesson is simple. Act with urgency. Windows of opportunity are small, and they close quickly. A slow yes can be just as damaging as a quick no. When you see a chance, you have to move. Hesitation is the enemy of progress. The world will not wait for you to finish your meetings. Cultivate a bias for action. Be willing to decide. Move forward, even with imperfect information. The second lesson is the power of focus. Yahoo tried to be 100 different things. Google decided to be the best in the world at one thing. Defend your core mission. Do not get distracted by shiny new objects. Be undeniably great at what matters most to your customers. Once you've mastered that, you can expand. Try to do everything and you'll do nothing well. Your focus is your most precious resource. Guard it fiercely. The third lesson, never underestimate the underdog. Success can make you complacent. Be humble enough to recognize a good idea, even from a competitor. Partner with or acquire those doing something better. Pride is dangerous in business. Believing you're invincible makes you vulnerable. Stay a little bit hungry. Stay a little bit paranoid. Final lesson, never lose your vision. Ask, does this move me closer to the North Star?